Hi, my name is Larry Snelly Jr. and this lesson is going to be on round pinning a horse. So this particular horse is a wild Mustang, and so we bought this horse off of BLM, and so he spent 3 years very wild out running around in the desert of southeastern Oregon, and so now we've released him into a round pen. And so what we're going to do is the human is going to come into the round pen, and part of what's important about this lesson is that you want to understand safety, and you want to make sure that you keep the horse safe and you keep yourself safe, because if you just jump into a round pen and you start chasing after the horse, because the horse is super wild, is going to get extremely scared and try to dive bomb over the fence, the round pen, whether it's a kind of a corral-like or if it's panels. Like the horse is going to try to jump over that or just sprint and run into it, and you can injure the horse, and horses have been killed that way. So when you get in there, you want to step in and just kind of nice and quietly just walk around in this calm little circle. So what I do is I'll step over here, and of course I might be here, and the horse is going to be the furthest away. And the horse is going to be kind of watching me and then looking this way and trying to find a way to escape. And then I'll slowly start to move around. And as I move, when you move to, say, the right flank of a horse and towards his rear end, that horse is going to be pushed off that way. And so what you're doing is you're going to kind of just start to walk around like this. And then you're just going to walk in a circle, and you're just going to push the horse. And then you're going to stop back, and that horse is going to feel that pressure release and stop and turn and face you. And then you turn the other direction, and you begin to walk towards the horse's head this way and push the horse around. So what you're doing is you're establishing communication and relationship with this horse. You're slowly building trust. And trust is really important when you're working with a Mustang, because if you don't earn the horse's trust, then this horse is not going to cooperate with what you're trying to teach him. And you're trying to work together. And if you're rushing ahead and you're not going the horse's pace, then the horse is going to get confused and scared, upset, and you're not going to get anywhere. And so you want to just kind of just slowly start moving around, pushing this horse around this round pen, and occasionally as you're moving, to stop and then step back, release that pressure. That horse will turn and look at you, maybe pause for a few minutes, and then slowly start going. Now eventually I would like to have a little bigger round pen to start off with when you first get the horse in there, but then I would move the horse into a smaller one. Perhaps it's a square round pen. It doesn't really matter. But then you're going to have horse here, and then you're going to step in, and you're going to be around here. And this distance is perhaps 20 feet. And so you've got these poles. You have a pole, and now this pole is so that as you get into the center and this horse starts moving around, you take that pole and you just lay it right on top of the wither. So you have the horse's neck coming down, and then its back. Well, this area here is the withers. And you want to rest that pole right here. And so you just set it right there, and then you just hold it as you go around in a circle. And so what this is doing is you're finally making contact with a wild Mustang. And the horse is going to start to realize, as you continue to pick it up, take it off, put it back down, sometimes towards the rear end of the horse, after he seems to get comfortable here, you set the pole right there. This is a little tail. And you set the pole, and the horse is going to continue to run around in the circle or trot, or maybe, ideally, he's going to walk. And he's going to be thinking. You're going to watch that horse's ears, and his horse's ears is going to be twitching back and forth, and or all the way back just listening. If they're flat back, the horse is mad and not very happy, and you don't really want that. But typically they're not going to be like that. They're going to be really in tune with what's going on because they don't know exactly what is happening to them. So as you take this pole and you set it on their rear end, or you set it on their withers, and that horse goes around, what's happening is that horse is learning that touch is okay. And over time, that horse is going to, and it can just be a few days, but that horse is going to become so comfortable with being touched that as you spend time with him, pretty soon, you could be right here, and the horse could be right here, and you might be able to reach your hand. Now, it's important though that when you're round penning a horse, you always want to kind of get them to move around. Moving is important because you want the horse to continue to think, because if the horse stops to move around, then he'll start to get zoned out. And then if he's zoned out and you go to touch him with something, he'll not expect it and start going all over the country, and you don't want that. And so you want to just keep it, you don't have to be low-key, you don't have to be quiet, you don't have to be super slow. Like the horse has to get used to you, so move around, be loud, set that thing down. Like, don't worry about being super soft or slow or whatnot. Like when I'm training horses, I am not quiet, I'm not super, let's see if he's gonna let me touch him. Like none of that is ideal when you're training the Mustang horse. Your goal is to get that horse comfortable, and when you're just making natural movements and talking or being loud or moving around or have dogs running around, the more the merrier. The horse has to get used to it. And so that first contact with that Mustang is, if you want to come with me for a minute. So this is, I can't really bring a horse into a classroom, and though Gone is not a horse, I'm going to use him as a dummy horse. Is that okay?
Sure.
Okay. So when you're turn this direction, so just pretend that the horse is standing upright, and so you have the withers here, and this is kind of where you put the pole. When you're going to pet a horse, you don't want to come up down to where he can kick you from the rear, because a Mustang, when they go to kick, they don't miss because their life depends on it. And so you don't want to put yourself in a position where you're going to get kicked by a Mustang horse, because they're very, very accurate and very, very fast. So the ideal place to be is you got the front shoulder, you got the neck, you got the head, is when you go to first make contact with a Mustang, is you stand right at this front shoulder, and you come back and you just slowly slide your hand. Like you don't have to be open, but just slide your hand. Now the horse is going to move off, so I go to slide, move off, move off, move off. Yeah, and so that's fine. Don't chase after the horse. And then you slowly work your way back over. Just reach over and head again. He's going to move off again, but that's all right. You kind of slow down. And so I teach my horses hand signals all the time to get closer. So come a little closer. Get some cluck in there. And then pat there and a little bit. There you go. Good boy. Oh. Yeah. See? And then he starts getting more comfortable. So when you're training Mustangs, you want to take your time. You want to slowly establish that trust. And then pretty soon you can pet him all the time and he's going to be fine. Or scratch him and then he's going to be really, really happy. So that is my very quick lesson on training a horse in a round.